Welcome friends to Physics in 20 minutes. In this video we are going to learn about dimensions of common derived quantities, uses of dimensional analysis and limitations of dimensional analysis. You might need to see video number 2 to understand some of the concepts getting developed here. So what are dimensions? In video 2 we have seen that the physical quantities can be broadly classified into two categories. Fundamental quantities, which are independent, don't depend on any other parameter for their existence like length, mass, time, etc. And derived quantities, which depend on fundamental quantities for their existence like volume, velocity, acceleration, etc. When you create a derived quantity, fundamental quantities are recombined many a times. Now in this recombination, the fundamental quantities are given different powers. The powers are indices to which the fundamental units are raised to obtain the derived unit of a physical quantity are called the dimensions of that physical quantity. Generally, square brackets are used to represent dimensions. Let's try to see an example. Let's take example of volume. Volume is length into breadth into height. Now you can see all the three, length, breadth and height, are example of length measurement. Therefore length as a fundamental quantity combine 3 times to create volume. Therefore the dimensions of volume will be L power 3. Sometimes m power 0 and t power 0 is also written along with L power 3 to indicate the absence of mass and time from volume, although it is not necessary. Another example, velocity. Velocity is distance upon time. Now distance is nothing but length. So you can see velocity is composed of two fundamental quantities, length and time. Therefore the dimensions of velocity will be dimensions of length upon dimensions of time, which can be written as L1 t power minus 1. m0 indicate that there is no mass here. Let's take one more example. Acceleration. It can be written as change in velocity upon time. Therefore the dimensions of acceleration will be L by t upon t, which is L power 1 upon t power 2, which can also be written as L power 1 into t power minus 2. m power 0 indicates that there is no mass in acceleration. Here are some more examples of dimensions of derived quantities. Please go through this table and try to memorize them. Area, density, momentum, force, impulse, work or energy, power, torque, pressure, frequency, angle, electric charge, electric potential, resistance. Let's see the uses of dimensional analysis now. The first use is to check the correctness of an equation. It involves the principle of homogeneity. Homogeneity means similar or same. The dimensions of all the terms in a dimensionally correct equation must be same. Let's try to understand this by using an example. Let's take the equation v is equal to u plus at. Here v and u are velocity, a is acceleration, t is time. Dimensions of v are L1 t power minus 1, dimensions of u L1 t power minus 1, dimensions of a into t will be L1 t power minus 1 again. So you can see all the three terms have the same dimension. Since all the three terms have the same dimensions, this equation is dimensionally correct. Let's take an exercise at this point. Check if the equation S is equal to ut plus at is dimensionally correct or not. Here S is displacement, u is velocity, a is acceleration and t is time. At this point, you may pause the video, try to solve it on your own Come back and check the solution. Here is the solution. S is equal to ut plus at. S is displacement, so its dimension is L power 1. Ut is a product of velocity and time, so its dimensions will be also the product of dimensions of velocity and time, which will turn out to be L power 1 t power 0. At similarly will have the dimensions L power 1 t power minus 1. Now you can see that three different terms have three different dimensions in this equation, and therefore this equation is dimensionally incorrect. The next use of dimensional analysis is deducing unknown relations. Let's try to understand this by using again an example. The time period t of oscillation of a simple pendulum depends on length L and acceleration due to gravity g. Derive the relation between t, L and g. Since t depends on L and g, we may write t is proportional to L power x g power y, or t is equal to k L power x g power y, where k is a dimensionless constant. The principle of homogeneity demands that the dimensions of left hand side must be equal to the dimensions of right hand side. Therefore, dimensions of t has to be equal to dimensions of L power x into dimensions of g power y, which is also equal to L power x, L power 1 t power minus 2 power y. Since length is absent on left hand side, we may introduce it as L power 0 t power 1, which is equal to L power x plus y t power minus 2y. We have combined the indices on the right hand side. If we compare left hand side with right hand side, then indices of L and t must be equal. Therefore, we can write x plus y is equal to 0 and minus 2y is equal to 1. These are two simultaneous equations, and if you solve them, you get y is equal to minus 1 by 2, x is equal to plus 1 by 2. If you substitute these values, equation for t will become t is equal to L power half g power minus half, which becomes t is equal to k root L by g. Let's take an example to understand this better. The kinetic energy of a body depends on its mass and velocity. Find the relation between them. Use the table given before for the dimensions. At this point, you may pause the video, try to solve this problem on your own, come and check the solution. Here is the solution. Let E is proportional to V power x m power y, where E is kinetic energy, m is mass, v is velocity. We may write it as E is equal to k v power x m power y, where k is dimensionless. Again, the principle of homogeneity demands that the dimensions of E must be equal to dimensions of v power x into dimensions of m power y, which we may write as this way. Therefore, m power 1 L power 2 t power minus 2 on the left has to be equal to dimensions of velocity are L power 1 t power minus 1 power x, dimensions of mass of m power 1 power y. If you open the bracket on right hand side and combine the indices, then it will become m power 1 L power 2 t power minus 2 is equal to m power y L power x t power minus x. If you compare the indices on both the sides, you get y is equal to 1, x is equal to 2. Therefore, E is equal to k times m power 1 v power 2 or k mv square. Third use of dimension analysis is conversion of units. Many a times we need to convert units from one system to other, and dimensional analysis is very much useful for this process. Let's understand again this by an example. Let 1 joule is equal to x erg. Joule and erg are the units of work. Joule is the unit in MKS system and erg is the unit in CGS system. So we are trying to convert the units of work from MKS system to CGS system. X can also be called as conversion factor, whose value we have to determine. Now the dimensions of works are m1 L2 t power minus 2. When you go from one system of unit to other system of units, the dimensions remain same. So we may assign two different suffixes for two different system of units. So we assign suffix 1 for MKS system and suffix 2 for CGS system. So we may write m1 power 1, l1 power 2, t1 power minus 2 is equal to x times m2 power 1, l2 power 2, t2 power minus 2. Or x can be written as m1 upon m2 power 1, l1 by l2 power 2, t1 by t2 power minus 2. Now remember, m1, l1, t1 are in MKS system, m2, l2, t2 are in CGS system. So m1 will be in kilogram, l1 will be in meter, m2 will be in gram, l2 will be in centimeter. Remember, t1 and t2 both will be in seconds. Therefore, we may write x is equal to 1 kg upon 1 gram power 1 into 1 meter upon 1 centimeter power 2 into 1 second upon 1 second power minus 2. But when you substitute 1 kg as 1000 gram and 1 meter at 100 centimeter, then you get x is equal to 1000 gram upon 1 gram power 1 into 100 centimeter upon 1 centimeter the whole square into 1 second upon 1 second the whole power minus 2. When you solve this, you get x is equal to 10 power 7. Therefore, we may write 1 joule is equal to 10 power 7 erg. Let's take another example to understand these applications. Convert unit of force, that is Newton, into dyne. Dimensions of force are L1, M1, T power minus 2. At this point, you may pause the video, try to solve the problem on your own, come back and check the solution. The solution is as follows. Let 1n is equal to x dyne. Newton is in MKS, remember, and dyne is in CGS. So we have to find the value of x. The dimensions of force are L1, M1, T power minus 2, which should remain the same in both the system of units MKS and CGS. So we may also use the suffixes 1 and 2 to indicate the two system of units. So L1 power 1, M1 power 1, T1 power minus 2 is equal to x times L2 power 1, M2 power 1, T2 power minus 2. Or x is equal to L1 by L2 power 1, M1 by M2 power 1, T1 by T2 power minus 2. After substituting the values, L1 is 1 meter, M1 is 1 kg, T1 is 1 second, L2 is 1 centimeter, M2 is 1 gram, T2 is 1 second, and solving we get the value as 10 power 5. So x is 10 power 5 and therefore 1 Newton is 10 power 5 dyne. The dimensional analysis has certain limitations. This method is not useful if the constant of proportionality is not a dimensionless quantity. Remember, in the beginning we took k as a dimensionless constant. If the k has its own dimension and since it is unknown, it will not be possible to determine the dimensions of the final quantity. The value of the dimensionless constant can be obtained only with the help of experiments. If you see the two examples that we have solved, we have written kinetic energy E is equal to kmv square and time period of a simple pendulum T is equal to k root L by G. What will be the value of k? Can you identify these values of k by using dimensional analysis? Answer is no. They have to be found experimentally. For example, if the formula involves any trigonometric functions like sine theta, cos theta or pi, which are dimensionless quantities, then dimensional analysis is not so useful to find them. If the correct equation contains some more terms of the same dimensions, it is not possible to know about their presence using the dimensional analysis only. So for example, in any equation, if there are some terms which are missing, dimensional analysis cannot predict them. It can only check the terms which are already given. Here are some review questions. Please go through them. Here are some activity problems. Please try to solve them. They will be very useful as far as your understanding of concepts in this video is concerned. Here are the answers for the activity problems. Thank you.